Alright guys, it's Thunderbolt, and before we begin, let me just make a slight correction. Thanks to D. Maseo, he basically pointed this out that Super Saiyan 4 Goku's power is actually 260 to 500 over here. So the Dragon Fist's power level changes a little bit. There we go, the power level has been updated. What this means is if we go over here and now we've put the new power level of 512 500. That means that Super 17 would still be exactly 1.25 times stronger. There we go, it's been changed. So Super 17 is exactly 1.25 times stronger than Dragon Fist. That also means that the Dragon Fist multiplier would be 21 times, because over here we had chosen 21 to get as close to Super 17 as possible. But guys, 21 is not the multiplier of the Dragon Fist, because I have found a much more precise multiplier, and I will reveal that to you later on in the video. So over here you can see that it's 21, and thanks to the whole Hirudegan thing, we had also figured out that the minimum multiplier is 3.9. So then we said that if the Dragon Fist required to be 21 times to be close to Super 17, then the multiplier should be 21, right? Not 3.9. But now I have actually found a number that is in between 21 and 3.9 that works for all scenarios, and I will explain that to you later on. Basically, when Goku uses the Dragon Fist in the Shadow Dragons arc, I will show you exactly what the multiplier of the Dragon Fist should be, and it satisfies all the three situations in which he used the Dragon Fist. It satisfies this one with Hirudegan, satisfies the one with Super Android 17, and the one with Omega Shenron later on. So stay tuned for that, and ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into Dragon Ball GT Power Scale Part 4, the Shadow Dragon Saga. Oh my god, we are finally here at the finale. Do join the Discord, it's an awesome place, you will really love it, and make sure to leave a like. The goal is 225 subscribers. We have to beat old Demon King Piccolo. We are very close to beating him, so I'm excited for that. These are the domination multipliers. What this basically means is you need to be 1.25 times stronger than your opponent to start to overwhelm them, and you need to be 2 times stronger to tank attacks unhurt, so on and so forth. They are like 70% accurate, and they are what we use to calculate our power levels. And these are the multipliers that you need to know for this video. Ki Blast / Masenko 1.4 times, Full Power Ki Blast or Kamehameha is 2.2 times, Super Saiyan 50 times, Super Saiyan 4 50,000 times, and the Fusion Dance is A plus A times 250, where A is the power level of the weaker person. These numbers are not random, they have been calculated / theorized through our entire power level series, starting all the way from the Saiyan Saga. So if you are new here, I highly recommend you to watch this series from the very beginning, aka the Saiyan Saga. I have made playlists that have all the videos in order, so you can watch them very easily, and there are some bonus miscellaneous videos as well that fix errors that I make in my main videos. Those are also included in the playlist so that you don't miss anything, and all the changes, all the mistakes that have been fixed, everything is there clearly visible to you. It's a beautiful series, guys. I highly recommend you to watch all of it. Okay, so in the Dragon Ball GT power scale, we decided to scale Trunks' power down to 1. Trunks in the Black Star Saga was 2.7 trillion. We scaled that down to 1, and the real power levels of the top 5 shall be revealed at the end of every part. Now, these are the power levels of all the characters in the Super 17 Saga. None of them have changed except for Vegeta at the bottom here, who became 1.25 times stronger, who now has a power level of 5.5. Yes, in the Shadow Dragons arc, base Vegeta is stronger than base Goku, and it is very fitting because Goku in the end says goodbye and makes Vegeta the protector of the earth. So Vegeta having a higher base power than Goku is very symbolic. So the power levels of the characters do not change at all, because the Shadow Dragons arc takes place right after Super 17 arc ends, like not even a moment passes. But the reason why Vegeta became 1.25 times stronger is because while Goku was on the hunt for the Shadow Dragons, before he met Oceanus Shenron, a lot of time has passed, because that little boy character said that over time my father became lazy ever since the monster came to the lake and things like that. So like it basically signifies that a lot of time passed, and you know, in that time the boy's father became lazy, and while that time was passing, we also saw Vegeta training constantly in the hyperbolic time chamber. Even if it's less than a month, even if it's only 2-3 weeks that have passed, Vegeta is the one who's been training the hardest. He's the only one who's been training. Nobody else has been training. So Vegeta gets the minimum 1.25 boost. Okay, so these are the power levels. Let's move on. Starting from Haze Shenron. So Goku says that Haze Shenron doesn't even excite him. So he's clearly the weakest character in GT. Let's make him 1.25 times weaker than Black Star Saga Trunks. Black Star Saga Trunks was 1, if you remember correctly. Super Saiyan Goten is also stronger than Hei's Shenron, but base Goten is not stronger than Hei's Shenron, and I'm totally fine with that because base Goten had no interest in martial arts or fighting whatsoever. And the reason why I chose this power level specifically, and the reason why I made him 1.25 times weaker than Black Star Trunks, is because it puts Hei's Shenron right in between Kid Buu and Buhan in terms of power levels. And the Shadow Dragons, like all of them, are supposed to be universal level threats. So it makes sense that, he's stronger than Kid Buu, which is the final Buu, but not as strong as Buhan, who was the strongest Buu. So I like where he stands right now. So Hei's Shenron has a power level of 0.8. Let's move to Rage Shenron. Now Rage Shenron is definitely stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku because Goku had to go Super Saiyan 4. And his body is very gooey and it allows him to tank a lot of attacks very easily. So Rage Shenron has a move called Dragon Thunder, as you can see over here. Dragon Thunder did absolutely nothing to Goku. So let's just assume that Dragon Thunder has a mere 1.4 times multiplier, basic Ki Blast multiplier. So doing the math, since Goku tanked the Dragon Thunder, Rage Shenron equals to Super Saiyan 4 Goku divided by 2 for the tank divided by 1.4 for the move multiplier. So Rage Shenron has a power level of 93,750 and Goku launched a 10 times Kamehameha on him. So a regular Kamehameha has a multiplier of 2.2 times, but a 10 times Kamehameha is 22 times. So doing all that math, the fact that Rage was able to tank a 22 times stronger attack, it means that Rage Shenron's body, his gooey body, allows him to tank attacks that are 61.6 times stronger than him. That is crazy. But this explains a lot about Omega Shenron and his ability to tank attacks. You will see that later. So yeah guys, I have mentioned this before in my power level series. Under normal circumstances, you need to be 2 times stronger to tank. Of course, Rage Shenron is not 2 times stronger than Goku. That is because speed and body structure have nothing to do with power levels. A guy with a power level of 5 can improve his speed and be faster than another guy with a power level of 5. Or a guy who has a power level of 5 has a very gooey body and is able to tank more attacks than another regular guy who has a power level of 5, if that makes sense. So yes, while power level does have a slight impact on speed, it doesn't determine speed and it has completely no impact on body structure whatsoever. So Rage Shenron has his gooey body that can tank attacks 61 times stronger than him. It is crazy. Okay, now let's move to Oceanus Shenron, and now some time has passed, which is why Vegeta got his training boost, right? But the other characters did not, because Goku and Pan are obviously just moving around looking for the dragons. Trunks is doing his own thing. Gohan is chilling with his family. Yeah, so no one got stronger except for Vegeta here. Anyway, so we know that a combination of Pan's Kamehameha and Goku's Kamehameha completely disintegrated Oceanus Shenron. And for an attack to disintegrate you, the attack needs to be 2.75 times stronger than you, which means the combined Kamehameha of Goku and Pan was 2.75 times stronger than Oceanus Shenron. So, doing the math, this is the combined power level of Goku and Pan's Kamehameha, 45.925, and Oceanus Shenron is 2.75 times weaker than that. Oceanus Shenron has a power level of 16.7. Now we go to Naturon Shenron. So Naturon Shenron says that the 10 times Kamehameha can blow him clean away. But it is heavily implied that a regular Kamehameha can hurt him a lot too. Because when Goku is charging up a regular Kamehameha, he's like, yo, you don't want Pan to die, do you? He's saying this about a regular Kamehameha. So obviously if a regular Kamehameha can hurt him so much, 10 times Kamehameha will be overkill for him. So how do we figure out Naturon's power? Well, Super Saiyan 4 Goku has to dodge Naturon's Ki Blasts, which means, doing the math, Naturon Shenron is Super Saiyan Goku's power divided by 1.4 for the Ki Blast divided by 1.75 because Goku cannot tank the attack, but he is strong enough to dominate Naturon. So that comes out to Naturon Shenron's power being 107,143. Now we move to the twin brothers Nuova and Ice Shenron. So it was stated that Super Saiyan 4 Goku had the edge in power while Nuova Shenron had the edge in speed. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they were close in power. In reality, Nova Shenron is very weak compared to Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He's just faster, that's all. Like I said, speed doesn't necessarily depend on power level. So we know that Nova Shenron is stronger than Ice Shenron because Ice was defeated super easily by Goku. So let's do the math for Ice Shenron's power. Super Saiyan 4 Goku is clearly 1.75 times stronger than Ice in the entire fight. Like, he cannot tank Ice's attacks, but he is dominating Ice the whole time. It's a clear 1.75 domination. So Ice Shenron's power comes out to be 150,000. We know that Nova Shenron is stronger than Ice Shenron. And Nova Shenron is also stronger than Naturon Shenron, who was the strongest Shenron they had met before Nova. So how much stronger was Nova Shenron compared to Ice Shenron? Not much, they're twin brothers, so only 1.25 times stronger. Nova Shenron comes out to be 187,500, which does put him above Naturon Shenron as well, so this dialogue checks out completely. Finally, we come to the big bad of Dragon Ball GT. Sin Shenron tanked a 10 times Kamehameha. That in itself is insane, but remember, Goku is much weaker right now. He has fought Ice Shenron, he's fought Nova Shenron, he's lost a lot of power, he is blinded as well. So Goku is much weaker right now. If Goku was at full power, then Sin would have been 44 times stronger than Super Saiyan 4 Goku, because he tanked a 10 times Kamehameha. 2 into 22 comes out to be 44. But we know that since Goku was not at full power, Sin is not 44 times stronger. So let's figure out what Sin's power level is, but before that we need to find out what Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku's power is. Goku goes into Super Full Power Saiyan 4 when he takes the power level of Gohan, Trunks and Goten. So obviously the power levels of all three did not change from the Super 17 arc. So doing this math, the combined power comes out to be 144.525, which is really interesting because that's the exact same amount of power Goku received in the Baby Saga as well, because that time they were weaker and Pan was also there to give energy. But now these three are strong enough that without Pan they can give Goku the exact same amount of energy that they gave him in the Baby Saga. That's awesome. So the power level of Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku has not changed at all throughout the entirety of GT, which I think is really cool. So yeah, Goku obviously was drained completely at that point. His power level was 0 and now he got 144.525. So Goku's temporary new power is 144.525. Multiply that by 50,000, Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku's power is 7.2 million. Now, we know that Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku dominates Sin Shenron. So doing the math, Sin Shenron comes out to be 4 million. So here are the power levels of all the Shadow Dragons from strongest to weakest. Take a good look. I think it's pretty cool. So now going back to this place where he tanked Goku's 10 times Kamehameha, we know that Goku was weakened. So how much weaker was Goku? So we know that Sin Shenron tanked a weakened Goku's Kamehameha. So Super Saiyan 4 Goku weakened is Sin Shenron's power divided by 44. Super Saiyan 4 Goku weakened was 93,847, which means Super Saiyan 4 Goku at that point was fighting at 35% of his full power. Anyway, moving on. So Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku does a regular Kamehameha against Sin. That Kamehameha would have a power level of 15.8 million. It was 3.85 times stronger than Sin. And Sin was able to handle that Kamehameha. He didn't tank it, it hurt him, but the fact that he was able to, take it itself is kind of insane. This moment was there just to show the audience how durable Sin's body is. It also helps to explain what happens later. Now, Sin Shenron absorbs all the Dragon Balls and becomes Omega Shenron. He basically absorbs the power levels of all the other dragons, and he says that he is 10 times greater than before, perhaps even more. So if you add up all the power levels of the dragons and then multiply it by 10, Omega Shenron comes out to be 46.6 million, which is exactly 11 times stronger than Sin Shenron's power level. So Omega was right. He is 10 times greater, perhaps even more. The perhaps even more comes from the powers of the other dragons. So Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku did a Kamehameha plus Dragon Fist on Omega Shenron. But because he was completely out of energy, the Dragon Fist was the only effective move, because we know that the Dragon Fist, no matter what, is gonna be some multiplier on top of the user's full power, right? This picture over here where Goku has his hand cut on glass, the very controversial image, is literally there to show the audience just how weak Goku was. It was like his energy was almost in negatives at this point. He was so weak that even a glass was cutting him. It should not be a controversial image. People say that, oh my god, Super Saiyan 4 Goku gets hurt by a glass. Like, hello, he just got his ass beaten like he's never been beaten before. Okay, he's crawling at the ground and he's completely out of energy. Obviously, a glass is gonna cut his finger, and if you have a problem with the glass cutting his finger, Dragon Ball Super was no worse with that gun being able to shoot through Goku. Okay? Anyway, now here's the thing. If we take Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku's power and multiply it by 6.5, it comes out to 46.9 million, which is very close to Omega Shenron. That means to be near even with Omega Shenron, the Dragon Fist should have a multiplier of 6.5 on top of super full power Saiyan 4. Now here's how the Dragon Fist will work in all three situations. Let's start with Hirudegan. We said the minimum multiplier is 3.9, so we know that the Dragon Fist multiplier is somewhere between 3.9 and 21. Now we know it's 6.5, it's not going to change anything. Yeah, so I'm going to remove minimum as well. The multiplier is 6.5. Let's keep this. This is our highlighted line. Multiplier of the Dragon Fist is 6.5. So obviously it's going to work very well for Hirudegan. It is going to kill Hirudegan. But now let's move to Super Android 17. How does the 6.5 multiplier work there? Because we know that we have to multiply by 21 in order to get close to Super 17's power. Well, guys, we multiplied by 21 because we took Super Saiyan 4 Goku's power. What if, because the Dragon Fist is relying on the user's max possible power, the max possible power of Goku is not Super Saiyan 4, it is super full power Saiyan 4. So let's change this. Okay, it's been changed. So if super full power Saiyan 4 Goku did a Dragon Fist, then the power level of the Dragon Fist would be 46.9 million. Moving to the next slide, we said that Super 17 was open, so we reduced his power level. But that was only because we wanted to make the Dragon Fist make sense. Think about it. When opponents are distracted, we make them 1.25 times weaker. But in this case, 17 was not distracted. He is looking at all the ki blasts coming his way. He was even looking at Goku coming towards him. He was not distracted. So we should not reduce Super 17's power at all. Boom! So Super 17 is at his max power of 10 million. The Dragon Fist is 46.9 million. The Dragon Fist is 4.5 times stronger than Super 17, and that makes a lot of sense. So now the 6.5 times multiplier on top of Goku's max power, which was Super Saiyan 3 in the Wrath of the Dragon movie and super full power Saiyan 4 in the Super 17 saga as well as the Shadow Dragon saga, makes a lot of sense. Multiplier 6.5 set in stone. Boom. Okay, now that we've fixed the Dragon Fist, let's move on. Vegeta. So we know that Vegeta has a power level of 5.5. He gets Super Saiyan 4. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta has a power level of 275,000. And then we obviously move to Gogeta. A plus A times 250. A is the weaker person. Goku had a weaker power level over here. As I told you near the beginning of the video, it is very fitting for Vegeta's base power to be higher because Goku left Earth and made Vegeta be in charge of protecting it. So it is very symbolic for Vegeta to be stronger. So yeah, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, doing the math, has a power level of 131,250,000. He is 2.8 times stronger than Omega Shenron. What a powerhouse. The strongest character in all of Dragon Ball so far, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Mwah, I just love him so much. Okay, so now let's get to the most controversial part of this episode. The Big Bang Kamehameha that Omega Shenron survived. Guys, think about it. Even if this Big Bang Kamehameha has a multiplier of 4 times, usually all the ki blasts that we see, they've gone up to like 3.75 times, right? Final Flash was 3.75, Gallic Gun is 3 times, Kamehameha is 2.2 times, Masenko is 1.4 times. So like all the normal ki blasts are not stronger than 4 times. Only special moves like the Dragon Fist and the times 10 Kamehameha go way beyond 4 times. So let's just say, even if the Big Bang Kamehameha has a multiplier of 4 times, it's still only 11 times stronger than Omega Shenron. I say only because Omega has Sin's durability, and you remember that Sin was able to handle an attack which is 3.85 times stronger, and he also has Rage Shenron's gooiness, because when Goku blasts the Dragon Fist through him, he manages to regenerate because his body has the gooiness of Rage Shenron that can regenerate and as well as tank. And remember, Rage's gooiness allows him to tank attacks that are over 61 times stronger than him. And since Omega Shenron is using the powers of all the other dragons, Omega Shenron can also tank attacks that are over 61 times stronger. So the only attack that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta can do, which would actually be close to Omega's tanking limit, is it 10 times Kamehameha? But yeah, Omega surviving this blast is not pure luck. It makes a whole lot of sense. He has Rage's gooiness, he has Sin's durability, and the show took the time to show you that those attacks don't work on these dragons. Okay, so now let's get to the finale. Goku undergoes a change after being beaten by Omega to near death. This is when he's holding the spirit bomb up. So, the script writer for Dragon Ball GT episode 63, which is this episode, his name is Atsushi Maekawa. And this is what he said in an interview. He was asked the question, where did Goku go on Shenlong's back at the very end? To be honest, in GT episode 63, just before the final episode, a big change comes over Goku. Those who watched carefully might have noticed, but in that episode, Goku, who takes Yi Xinglong's attacks, Yi Xinglong is Omega Shenron by the way, sinks to the bottom of a deep hole. That is the turning point. Afterwards, Goku still continues the battle, but what's different from before is that he is cloaked in an aura that won't let any attack near him. It might be that he died there, or it might be that he became something else entirely. I'll leave that decision to the imaginations of everyone who watched. However, Goku up to that point that everyone knows clearly does not appear after that. In the world of Dragon Ball, Goku had already died multiple times, and up till then, each time he appeared with a halo over his head. However, I did not want to go with the usual concept of even when he dies, he comes right back to life. I wanted the viewers to picture death in that way and feel a sadness close to it in reality. So I had a change come over Goku. So Goku goes into a changed state. You can think that he dies and comes back. It's almost angelic. Look at these pictures. Goku has become some omnipotent angelic being, and he is now tanking Omega Shenron's attacks. He even tanked Omega Shenron's minus ball, which is a very powerful attack. But for the sake of low ball, I've only given it a 2.2 times multiplier. Doing the math, Chain State Goku's power level comes out to be 205 million, which is the strongest we have ever seen. This is even stronger than Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Goku has literally become the omnipotent god of Dragon Ball. He is the number one. There is no one above him. And some people think that Goku did not become stronger in his chain state, but he did. He can now instant transmit to hell, something that he could not do just a few weeks ago in the Super 17 saga. He can now go to places where no mortal can. It's like the boundaries of the universe no longer exist for him. And this is the ending of Goku's story. He reaches a level beyond anything we've ever seen before and goes off into the realm of true divinity. Here are the Shadow Dragon Saga final base power levels. Sin Shenron 4 million, Nova Shenron 187,500, Ice Shenron 150,000, Natron Shenron 107,000, Rage Shenron 93,750, Maju 2,050, Oceanus Shenron 16.7, Pan 15.625, Vegeta 5.5, Goku 5.25, Trunks 1.5625, Gohan 1.25, Haze Shenron 0.8 and Goten 0.078. And these are the Shadow Dragon Saga top 5. Chain State Goku at number 1 with a power level of 205 million, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta number 2 131 million, Omega Shenron number 3 46.6 million, Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku 7.2 million in 4th place, and in 5th place Sin Shenron with 4 million. And here are the real power levels of the top 5. Chain State Goku 556 quintillion, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta 355 quintillion, Omega Shenron 126 quintillion, Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku 19.5 quintillion, and Sin Shenron at 11 quintillion. And here are the Dragon Ball GT top 5. Chain State Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Omega Shenron still stay at top 3. Then top 4 is Super 17 with 28 quintillion, and at the 5th position we have Golden Great Ape Baby with a power level of 22 quintillion. Thank you so much guys for following this series. Thank you so much for subscribing and leaving a like. I have a lot more planned, so stay tuned for that. My name is Thunderbolt and I shall see you all in the next one.